Hi everybody, Dana Litwin here again, and welcome back to Tuesday Tips for Leaders of Volunteers. Today, talking about bad donations, mainly in-kind donations, and I have a story to share around that, but also there might be some donors that have been very supportive of your organization and they have very bad PR. They get into trouble, they get arrested for something, they're having their own ethical and legal dilemmas, and you don't want to be associated with them or their name or that brand or that company anymore. But for in-kind donations, I'll share a story from very early in my career with Project Open Hand here in San Francisco, early 2000s, probably around 2002, 2003. Project Open Hand's a food charity, meals and groceries, and we got a donation of several cases of wine. Now, that in itself was odd. We didn't usually take or accept donations of alcohol, but in this case, the chef looked at it from a local winery, looked at the label and thought, well, I can at least make some sauces with this, but we would never distribute the wine to clients. When we started to open the wine, however, we realized that it had been in a fire, it had been ruined. It was completely unusable, and we ended up wasting an entire day of about 10 or 12 volunteers and staff having to pour out these cases and cases of wine. And for a few people, they started to feel dizzy and nauseous and sick just from the fumes of pouring this out. So this ended up being a very bad donation, disastrous, harmful. The winery certainly knew that they were just getting rid of a bad product and they just wanted the tax write-off and they didn't care about the harm or the time wasted that this would cause. And that's a pretty extreme but very real-world example. There's also people who, they don't have malicious intent, but they just don't know not to bring certain items, or that you don't take items in kind donations. You maybe only take wish list items, online wish lists on your website or Amazon, things like that, or you only take cash donations. So there's a lot of end of the year, December, holidays, end of the tax year scramble where people are just clearing clutter out and companies want tax write-offs and individuals want tax write-offs, and it can just end up wasting a lot of volunteer and just team time sorting through all of that, whether that's bad intent like this little winery or good intent but just kind of ignorance of the process. So if there is a bad faith donation, it's absolute garbage and junk, and the person knows it and they're just trying to scam the nonprofit, absolutely call them out, shame them, rescind the donation letter, maybe even reach out to the IRS. That's what we ended up doing because it was so egregious. We contacted the IRS and said this company made this very bad faith donation and we rescind our receipt letter for them. And you can also create a disqualified donors list. It's already a practice of many large nonprofit institutions, including universities, hospitals, and environmental organizations. And the problem with a disqualified donors list is the same that arises with really any institutional policy, which is that it has to be enforced. It has to be done consistently. So not formulating or adopting a disqualified donors list or not adhering to it doesn't do any good. So if you create something like that, just make sure everyone in the organization knows how it works, knows to not accept donations from these people or entities or organizations or corporations. And it could be that you've decided to have this disqualified donors list either because of bad faith actions or that corporation, that company, that person has really, really bad PR. Horrible things have come out about them. They've been convicted of crimes or fraud or something that you just don't want that publicity association of that person or company's name associated with your organization. It's also helpful in a positive sense to have lists on your organization website of, do you take in-kind donations and items at all? Make it really clear if you do or don't. Do you have an Amazon wish list or something like that on your website? Do you only take cash donations? So having it very clearly laid out on a donor page or a how to support us page, that's helpful. If you do not take certain items or you don't take in-kind donations at all, it's also helpful to maybe have on that page what other local organizations do take items, so that if people think, oh, the animal shelter needs a lot of old mattresses. It's like, no, we actually don't, and no one takes mattresses, but we can take towels and things like that. So making it really clear on your website what you can and cannot accept, and throwing in that extra bit of information that's really helpful. I just had to go through this personally with my late father's stuff of where do I put furniture and clothing, and can one organization pick it up, or do I have to take it to several? Just make it really clear on your website if you take stuff, what you take, and if you don't take it, who in the area does, or just mention that, hey, nobody takes mattresses, don't even try. This is a common issue that pops up with a lot of disaster response agencies where people want to be helpful, and we're in big storm blizzard season right now here in North America, and they think they're helping and they drop a bunch of stuff off, but it just is going to take volunteer time to sort it out, or that site where it's dropped off does not have the capacity of the personnel to sort through stuff because they're in immediate disaster response mode. So again, just making it as clear as possible and as easy as possible for individuals and or other organizations or corporations to do the right thing, to have the chance to support your agency in whatever way they can with donations. There's a great independent sector principles of good governance and ethical practice that goes into a much deeper dive, so I'll link to that below. You can find that out if you do want to set up a disqualified donors or ethics clauses or anything else around how donations are handled. So I hope that you've enjoyed these Tuesday tips every week, and if you are not yet subscribed, please do that. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and share with your friends and colleagues, especially those who are dealing with the specific issue for each Tuesday tip. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Stay safe wherever you are, and we'll see you next time with more tips. Take care.